good afternoon. I am Jamie Bleakley.
And I'm Crystal Vermeyer.
And we, along with our husbands, are the owner of A Better Tomorrow Therapy and Wellness Center, LLC, in Anchorage, Alaska. This is our first podcast, so feel free to share us, like us, click on subscribe, do all those buttony things. Just wanted to start out our first episode by going through like who we are and kind of how we got here. So, how did A Better Tomorrow come to be?
So a really long time ago, back in 2005, my husband and Andrew and I knew we wanted to work together. At the time, I was still in occupational therapy school. He was just finishing up massage therapy school. And so we started a business that originally was called something different. Don't need to get into that. But it was focused heavily on his massage, and he also did jewelry. So for a long time, that was the origin of the business. And then after working in different clinics and different spaces, meeting Jamie, both of us on a track to be able to say, you know what, we'd rather just work for ourselves than for other people. Let's give that a go. And rather than doing it independently, she asked about what we thought about joining forces, knowing that we had the plan, she had a plan, why not try to do it together? And for whatever reason, that felt really right. And so we decided to go ahead and push forward with that. And that was back in 2018. And we've had a clinic ever since, little by little, just building and building and building. And it's been quite an adventure.
I would say A Better Tomorrow came to be. One of it was kind of like that business choice to get at the top of the alphabet. So getting the A-B together helped with marketing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that was kind of logistically. But more importantly, the meaning behind it and having a mission statement that we want to be able to help the community, that we want to be able to help both children and families come together.
Yeah, so our mission statement is, I just had it.
You just
I
had
just did it before the camera. To help children and families heal and flourish from their past into their future. And we really believe in that. And that was like, I had thought of A Better Tomorrow for all the like catchy marketing reasons, but also for that like kind of cliche, like I believe in a better tomorrow. I believe in the work that we do supports creating a better tomorrow for the clients, for the families, and for kind of the future in general. Just being able to go through your daily life a little bit easier because you had the support of a caring professional that was able to give you ideas, to support you on your own ideas, to get other team members involved, whatever that may be, is really important to us. And that's at the heart of what we do for ourselves, for our families, like our personal families, for our clients, and for our staff. Like we really try to live into our mission statement and our values. We thought really hard on those and was very intentional, because if it was something we believed in and we were passionate about, then it's going to be really easy to make choices that way and to just push forward in that way in the future and always be striving to live them, even if we fall short, because we are failed human beings.
Absolutely.
With our own lives and our own trauma.
I would say too, like that goes into our values. We sat around kitchen table, and how we started the business is around our values, around our personal values, like each of us making individual lists of what was important in life to us, and then combining what was most important for both families to come together into the values for our business, which has worked wonderfully for decision making and moving the business forward when it's okay to move forward, when it's time to say, hey, we need to wait a little bit. But values, we'll go back and forth on this. Okay. Family-centered.
Collaboration.
Continual learning.
Pride.
Team player.
No, you already said continual learning. I need a list so I can check them off.
Don't take my next one.
I can't think of any of them right now. I'm on the spot.
I win the game.
What do you say? Family learning, collaboration, teamwork, pride, continual learning.
I don't know that we said pride yet.
I said pride.
Oh.
That was my last one. Okay. And then my brain went blank.
Integrity.
Communication. Did we say specifically communication?
Direct and honest communication.
Yeah. Especially when it's hard. I think that's all 7.
So, for that too, you are welcome to go to our website, which is www.abettertomorrowak.com. Mm-hmm. And that does have our mission statement and our values with a definition of what that means to us. So it goes in more in depth. Like we had our staff sit down and go through each of the values and what that actually means. So it's not just those cliche words thrown out there that they're going
We started
into.
with like a working definition and then got their input to beef it up a little bit. And that was really important to us. And then periodically we kind of revisit that. We do several check-ins a year with our staff of like, hey, are we meeting our values? In what ways are we meeting our values or not? And how can we adjust and make that better? We always encourage that in the way that we communicate with our staff for their reviews and meetings too. So it's just part of how we build culture at our clinic.
And feeding into that building culture too, I'd say we start this in the interview process. So even coming in before we even do a job offer, our interview process is based on our values, and we go through and ask questions about what relationship means, because kind of everything in life. And had a really good visit with a friend that I've known since kindergarten a couple weekends ago, and like it was funny as we're talking about how did we get here, we both had that answer that it all comes back to relationship. It all comes back to who do you know and how did you build that relationship with that person, and why would that person want to support you and lead you to the next person for that time in life. And so moving back and forth about that relationship is huge, and we want to pass that on to our family. We, as therapists in general, sometimes we are the most stable relationship that these families have. We spend more time with them than the pediatricians. We see these kids, like our oldest kid at the clinic right now, you've seen since she was
19
3?
and I've known her since she was 4. I met her when she was 4. And I wasn't her primary therapist for the first couple years. I started doing like hippotherapy stuff as like an extra add-on therapist. And then through shifts and staffing changes, I ended up being her primary. And yeah, she's 19, almost 20.
Yeah. So like a lot of our kids, a lot of our families, depending on what's going on, like we always have discharge in mind. But a lot of times we meet those goals and then like, okay, on to the next thing. What's next? To help them to be the most functional people that they can be in their home, in the community. And that means we spend years with these kids and these families, and we become part of their families.
Yeah. And I was saying, I think that that's a huge testament to like the comeback that we get for our clients personally. And then a lot of our staff starts to do the same thing because we model a lot of relationships at our clinic. But working previous places, like we would see our families were more connected with us because we focused on the relationship, and it wasn't just transactional, like get your kid in, get them seen, move on, which is still going to provide good therapy. Like good therapy can still be done without the relationship, but the continuation, the buy-in, the parents feeling comfortable and connected and part of the process and empowered makes a difference. And our families want to see us, don't necessarily want to reschedule with other people because they're not going to get the same value that they get by the connection that we build. So even if we have like equal skills therapeutically in the delivery of our actual like technique and hands-on and like whatever, the relationship increases the value of what we're offering because we are connected and we're building relationship and rapport and empowering parents. And that's really important. And like, I've also been because I have that connection, been the one that's like, yeah, it's okay to take a break. Like you need a break right now. Or like reminding moms that are super stressed out and busy, like it's okay if you need an afternoon to yourself. Like your husband can handle the kids for a couple hours. Go get your hair done. Go for a walk. Do something. Just sit in silence, like whatever it might be. So having that relationship allows you to be supportive in a lot of different ways that you might not expect.
And allows you to have those honest, direct communication, hard conversations. There are times that we have to talk to parents about things that they don't want to hear, or maybe aren't ready to hear. But once you have a relationship, you can come and you have to have that trust, that relationship, that them knowing that you care and that you have their family's best interest in mind to be able to be heard with hard conversations.
Yeah. And it is a little draining on us too, because the relationship piece means that I'm giving a little bit of myself and I'm letting you into my heart, to my world, and keeping those professional boundaries, but also still, when you treat with relationship at the heart of what you do, you also have to rejuvenate yourself. So it's just this like cycle of self-care and care for like empathy and compassion that for yourself and others, that's really important.
I'd say one of the questions we ask in like our exit interviews when we have our contract therapists that are here for a while and then they get ready to go back to the lower 48 and do jobs other places is what makes our clinic different, or what do you say to the community when they ask about where you work? And so like what would you say makes A Better Tomorrow a different clinic than some of the others?
I was gonna say, from my personal experience, I would say it's the relationship base that they put into it and the way that we bring parents in and connect. And it's not to say that other clinics don't do some of that too. Like, I don't want to put down anyone else, but we go strong in that and build in with the respect of trauma and everything that goes into it. From like interviews that I've done, a lot of it is that we seem to really care, not just about like numbers and productivity and getting families in the door and like moving things forward, but also about our staff. And we care about the community, and we are like involving parents and bringing in that piece to be really respectful. The trauma thing comes up a lot because we do focus on that. But yeah, that's.
And I would say two of our big things, I have a big background in trauma and the fetal alcohol community. Crystal has a huge background in play.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I have a PhD in infant and early childhood development with an emphasis on mental health and developmental disorders. So I've done a lot of that infant mental health, family backgrounds, family systems, just lots of really interesting work through the PhD program that I did. And then I also am a training leader for ICDL and teach the DIR floor time method to parents and professionals on a pretty regular basis. And I've been doing that for a little over 10 years now. 11 years, 12 years, 10 years, I don't know, a long time. It's been over 10 years. And so there's just a lot of that, the tie into relationship and trauma and mental health and like how it all plays out and goes together is really deep for both of us on a professional level in training, but also on a personal level. Like, we both have children that have had, gone through different systems, that have gone through different therapy pieces, and I'm sure we'll talk about more of that as we go. But so like that I think helps too, from that relationship piece of like, we've lived some of these experiences or similar, our own version of different experiences. So we can tie that into a little bit deeper empathy, because like we really do get it. Like we are moms. We are moms with kids with special needs. Like, we have done the hard things too in our own versions. And that I think helps families relate to us a little bit too.
I agree. I would say too, like when we started the clinic, initially we were focusing on having children ages 5 and down. What we're seeing kind of in our community right now is, well, and
probably in general.
I saw an article at one point that more kids were being expelled from preschool than the high schools, which is extremely sad and mind-blowing. That like, we can't control these 2, 3, 4, 5, and like not control, but understand what their behavior means. Support, understand what their behaviors mean, be able to address the need that they're asking for. Like, every behavior is communication. It's all asking for a need to be met. Like, we are not recognizing these kids' sensory needs or their emotional needs, and the answer is to kick them out, which, okay, then we lead into all other economic issues of like, if a parent can't get childcare, they can't work, then the family's struggling, which increases stress, which increases the child's dysregulation. It's a cycle. So that was kind of our main goal too, is getting those kids before they're kicked out of school. They hate school. The parent dreads taking them to school because they know they're going to get a phone call by noon.
Talking to anybody because they just know that they're going to be put down for their kid. Their kid's going to be put down, and they're going to be judged, and all of the different things that go with that.
The teachers hating their jobs and don't like the kids, and the kids know that they don't like the teachers don't like them. Yep. The other kids are going home and telling their parents like about the bad kid at school. So like, our goal was kind of get in there and help with that regulation piece and help with meeting those needs before the kid is labeled and everybody is miserable.
Yeah. And those with the biggest needs and like that need the most support often ask for it in the most awful of ways or the most unproductive of ways. And so rather than getting curious about why those are happening, we try to extinguish them. And I think that that's part of our approach too, is that it's not so much about like stop the behavior, but like why is the behavior? What is that communicating? What is the underlying need, so that we can solve it from the root instead of just calming it down, because nobody in the history of man has ever calmed down because you said calm down. We gotta go
Works
deeper.
every time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we will be continuing these podcasts, so please share, like, click,
and
subscribe, all the buttons.
And comment below like any of the topics or anything that resonated with you, so that so we know like what's working, what's not. This was more of an introductory episode, so it's a lot more about like us and our thoughts and our things, but we're going to get into some different topics as we get into all of the content as we roll forward. So yeah, just
we'd love to hear your input and what you would like to hear us talk about. So thank you.
Thanks for watching.